My name?
Yes, your name, son.
Beef Wellington?
No, your name.
The fork on the left?
Stop joking. Tell him your name.
My name? What's his name? What's his name? I got nothing on a name. Come on, baby, what's the name? We threw out his name!
Alright, so we'll start with a simple structure diagram. Basically, we have up here with the base class of character, and that has your armor, name, and health, and it has gadget sets for all those, and the character constructor. Down here, we have player character. That's going to be the person who's playing the game. That's going to be their character. So it's inherited from there. Armor, charisma, and total. And then for NPC, you have health again, level, because they're based on level, and then they have their own name because they have a predetermined name set, and you have getters and setters. And then we have our combat class, which is kind of its own, but it has one main function that takes in 2 players, no matter what they are, and lets them fight. And this class can be expanded to allow multiple fighters or different ways of initiating combat or interaction. Other ideas to add here is like a monster class and different kinds of characters, and maybe they have different abilities or different modifiers than what is shown here. Alright, let's look at some code. So we'll start at the top with character.h. Basically, we got character name, armor, health as your private data members, and then you have your 2 constructors, your getters and setters. Health is a virtual one, so is name. Virtual one for set name, set health, set armor. They're all virtual, so they're all work with polymorphism going down the line. When we get to derived classes, this is the actual C file for it. This is how everything works. It's pretty simple. Just getter setters. These 2 are a little different. So we're using a random number generator to roll 1 through 4 for damage, and then we're using a random number generator 1 through 20 for initiative, and for seeing if your attack hits the other player, if you beat their health or armor. Then we have player class, which inherits everything from character class and uses polymorphism to deal with the combat class we do later, but it adds charisma and armor, and you can see that it adds charisma and strength. And then you should have getters and setters. Go into that class, pretty simple, straightforward. Go on to NPC. We see that we have a string of 10 names, random names for random NPC characters, health and level, and then we have 2 constructors, one with level and name, and then one with just level, which was health and the other one. And then get level, set level, and level is kind of new for NPC, just an easier way to build these characters. Then we go here, and when you get this, you do character level, your health is level times 3. Here it's just level times 3, and then you randomly generate a name, and you set level equal to level. And then it's just getters and setters for level. Another class where all the important stuff happens. So basically, we have 2 characters, just characters, and we take them in, and we have 3 functions: initiate combat, get total combat, and get rounds. So if we go into the class, so basically a constructor, it just takes 2 character pointers and it increases combat. So basically I want to be able to tell the player this is the amount of combat rounds you played this entire game at the end of the game, which is why this is total combat is static. So then we go into here, and initiate combat is where it kind of gets more in depth. My idea behind initiate combat in this class is that you can input any 2 characters here, where you're saying yes to continue to combat. So player 1 can be the NPC, and player 2 can be the player character, and player or vice versa, or any combination of characters. I made it really general, so it's a little weird sometimes when it tells you your name is this, but it's kind of a downside to having that flexibility of being able to add any 2 characters I want. So basically it tells you who you encountered and how much health they have. Again, this is another weird one where I'm kind of saying character 2 is the bad guy, but it is what it is. Would you like to fight them? You say yes, checks your health, and make sure continue is true. Takes your answer. If yes, it will put you into this combat battle. And basically the player 2 gets to attack first. It rolls initiative, gets against your armor. If it hits, it tells you this player hit you. It tells you this is how much damage they rolled. Or it gets the damage, tells you that's how much damage you rolled, how much damage you're going to take. And then subtracts that from your health, and then it tells you your health again. And then it tells you if they missed, if like that's not true, then they missed. Then it goes to your turn, you attack, it gets your initiative rolls. If your initiative rolls higher than their armor, then you hit, it tells you everything, tells you how much damage they have, and then it tells you their health. And then prints out if your attacks miss, it else. And then continue equals false if you say no to this. If you say no, you can say yes, then it goes to no, and you exit the room. If either one of your health is 0, it'll tell you who died, and then set continue equal to false because you won't continue anymore. Then it will ask you again, do you want to fight? And it will ask you again to type yes. And then get rounds of combat just returns rounds of combat, and get total combat returns combat. And I override the outstream operator to tell you how many rounds of combat and all this stuff about the fight you are currently having. This is the main file for the program, and basically we have a print banner which prints DnD Lite, kind of tells you what it is. It has a cool little slowdown effect that I enjoy. And then we check the input from the user. We'll show that in a second, but basically you have to be below 15 or less than the total number of points you're allotted, which is 40. Some dialog up here, save the values for your inputs, and you kind of give the output. Basically I want the dialog up here so you can clean up down here and make this more readable. And then we kind of get information about you, armor, health, charisma, all that stuff. When we make it to player, we ask you how many enemies you would like to fight, and you give us a count. We check the count, make sure it's greater than 0, and then if it is, we run a loop to make all the NPCs for you at a level 2, and then you get to fight them. And if you lose, it yells at you. And if you say 0 or less than 0, it also yells at you. So we'll see how that works next. Alright, and here we put a name, and then I put in something wrong. Doesn't look too high. 15, 15. So I only have 10 points left, so I put 15. Nope, 5, and 5. And how many enemies? I want 2. So now I can see that I've encountered a Carmine. He has 6 health. Would you like to fight him? Yes. So Carmine attack. I take 1 point of damage. I have 14 health now. It's my attack. I rolled a 17 that hits, and he takes 1 point of damage. He's at 5. So let's run again. Now I'm at 13. We both hit for 1 again. And we'll keep going. Carmine's now at 1, and his attack missed. Now he died, and I have another Carmine to fight. And we do yes again, yes again, yes again, yes. My attacks hit. That Carmine was killed in 5 rounds. Woo! We're done.